All right, Thursday night football, we got the Bills and the Buccaneers, and it's a no-win situation for Buffalo. Even if you win, you're supposed to. Then we're going to look at it with style points. How did they win? How did Josh Allen do? Stephon Diggs happy? Like, there's a lot going on in Buffalo. I don't know exactly what it is. And also, what do you see when you see Josh Allen?
Right. Well, I mean, one, injuries on the defense, right? That's a big issue for them. I think that's why you've seen them kind of fall apart a little there. Matt Milano, you can't, disregard that injury. Definitely one of the best linebackers in football, probably the best player on their defense. Tre'Davious White, other injuries in the secondary. Ed Oliver was hurt, right? Daquan Jones, their big D tackle, who's really good. He's done for the year. So they got issues there. Offensively, Dan, you've heard me say this before, right? There's just not enough there. There's not enough there as far as premium talent compared to the other teams, let alone the scheme itself. There's nothing elite that they do. What do you defend when you defend the Buffalo Bills right now? To me, the last three games have shown it. And last three games, which because my podcast listeners want me to explain what's going on with the Bills, three teams in a row basically said, we're not going to let Josh Allen throw 60-yard lasers, and we're not going to let him run around and make magic plays. If we stop those two things, their offense is pretty average. And I think that's what you're seeing here more than anything. They have no element of their offense that makes the defense go, oh, wait, we have to stop this or this and that. So they're never compromised. It's all about just stopping 17, and he's going to throw to Diggs. And after that, everybody else can live with the repercussions.
Yeah, it feels like Stephon Diggs is one moment away from, blowing up here. And I don't know. It feels
they're frustrated.
Like their window of opportunity is closing rapidly because it felt like the media was pushing, like Josh Allen MVP, Bills going to the Super Bowl. And now they've cooled considerably. And I just wonder where they stand in the AFC right now of, Super Bowl contenders.
No, yeah, I think they're down the list considerably. Before the year started, Dan, and I'm not trying to, I'm wrong a lot, I'm right a lot too. I did not pick them to go to the playoffs. I did not look at them as a playoff team. I looked at it and went, wait, it's the same team as last year. They got a tight end in the first round, and they got a new guard to play with. To me, that wasn't enough to go, oh, they're ready to compete with Kansas City and Baltimore and Miami and those type of football teams on a weekly basis. No. It's too much. And I talk to people around the league about the Bills all the time. And I said this today on PFT to Mike Florio. I've been and I said this and I'll even say it again. Devin McCourty, myself, we've talked to people up in Buffalo who have basically said, like, they don't feel they can win the game unless Josh Allen takes over. There's that feeling there. There's just not enough there. He's one of the greatest talents in the sport. He is phenomenal. But every week is about him playing with his hair on fire and him making magic happen and throwing to Stephon Diggs. And after that, you just go, well, who's going to be something else this week on the offense? And I think the Bucs will keep that game uncomfortably close for them tonight.
If they don't make the playoffs, then what?
That's the big question. I would think that, I'm not in favor of a regime change. I'm not. I'm definitely not. I'm a believer in McDermott and what he's done up there. And like you kind of said, they've been in the Super Bowl window for like 4 or 5 years here, right? They've built a damn good team. I think their biggest thing, one, if they don't get to the playoffs, you're going to hear talk about Ken Dorsey, right? Whether that's right or not, that's what's going to happen. And then the other thing is, I think you're going to hear a lot of like, hey, they got to get some other star players on their football team, especially the offensive side of the ball. There's got to be more sizzle to that football team. You look at the other top teams in the AFC, and we can go through Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, Kansas City, right? You even get into like Cleveland, and I'd go, their skill guys are all better than Buffalo. Yeah. And that's concerning a little bit.